There's a forgotten garage rock band with only 70 monthly listeners on Spotify, but I've heard that they are quite possibly one of the most influential artists in music.
Severe tire damage. It was the early 90s, and all of the band members were in fact full-time employees of various research labs in California. But what makes them really interesting is not their music from nights and weekends. It's that June 24th, 1993, they put on the first live-streamed concert on the internet ever. It was the first time ever that live audio and video were transmitted over the internet.
How did they pull that off?
They used a technology called Mbone.
Mbone?
Mbone was an early live streaming technology. This was the first thing that ever let you send, audio and video live over the internet. It was really based around the concept that huge numbers of people would be watching the same stream. So it had all kinds of neat technology built around multicast, where instead of having to have your server stream the video at the same time to everyone who's watching, you would in fact just stream it to servers in their neighborhoods who would then manage to distribute it, right? Perhaps you'd send one stream to Verizon, and then Verizon would deal with getting it to the individual computers and stuff. And so it could be much more efficient and very scalable.
And one stream going to each local router.
Exactly. And so it ends up forming a tree, and you don't have the server be completely overwhelmed. Not everyone was going all the way back to the server that was trying to live stream. So there was neat stuff in there.
So how did severe tire damage break out of their little Xerox PARC sphere that they were in?
Well, after they did their Mbone concert, the Rolling Stones got interested. So when they did their concert a year later on Mbone, 1994, Severe Tire Damage opened for the Stones.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
pretty big.
That is pretty big. In the concert, in the mighty words of Mick Jagger,
I want to say a special welcome to everyone that's climbed into the internet tonight and has got into the Mbone, and I hope it doesn't all collapse.
Climbed into the internet. I love it.
Climbed into the internet and gotten into the Mbone.
You gotta wonder if at some level the name sabotaged the technology a little.
They wouldn't call it Mbone today.
No, they wouldn't.
But there were 50,000 people watching that Rolling Stones concert.
In 94, that was like a quarter of the internet. And people were dialing in to watch it. It's a big deal.
So are all the big concert streams using Mbone now?
No, I mean, it took off for a little while, this Mbone technology. And then it kind of got replaced by some of the streaming protocols we're using today. It was a neat technology. We do it very differently today. There's now the content delivery networks like Cloudflare and Octame. And so everyone connects to a server of theirs that delivers the content to them. I guess in outline, it's not that different, but it's a very different technology.
So it's not that we forgot how to make Mbone work. It's not a lost art. It's just...
No. I mean, all the documents are still there. The old code is still there. People talk about it sometimes, but it's not really used. A lot of the multicast stuff is kind of frowned on these days. To multicast, in Internet Protocol, normally you can send a message unicast to a single computer. I send your phone a message, your phone answers. But there are other options for multicast where you can send a packet and it goes to lots of computers at the same time. And that can be a neat thing to do on your LAN. If you have a video camera, local area network, a bunch of people can be watching the same packets at the same time to watch, the camera, using stuff like NDI off Ecamm. We use that here a lot. But on the internet, it turns out it's just bad. There's absolutely no reason why anyone should be able to, let's say, send a file to every computer in France at the same time, right? You realize, that's something only bad guys would want. So a lot of this stuff has been shut down. And it turned out that there are so many live streams from so many artists, right? I think in the early 90s coming off, it's not that much later than the 80s when there were like 5 TV stations. Everyone thought, on the internet we'll have 50 TV stations. Well, no, we'll have millions of streamers. I don't think enough people are actually watching the same stream at the same time to make sense to distribute it that way. And the content delivery networks have stepped up as sort of the middleman for people who want to distribute things to lots of places.
Except for occasionally, right? You run into problems like the Jake Paul fight or
Super
Bowl.
Yeah, I'm not saying everything's perfect. I'm just saying we're not using Mbone anymore. Yeah. You can get enough people that the content delivery networks just fall down.
And everybody's like, I wish we had Mbone.
That's what I said. But people don't really listen to me.
That's it. For more tech discussions like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button.